An important setting is transform control. You can think transform control as a subtool of move tool. If you click it, you can see that there is a bounding box around your active layer. As you can see, my active tool is move tool, but as soon as I press Ctrl T or I start to edit this layer, the option bar here will change. I recommend to turn it off, but remember the short key. The short key is Ctrl T. By pressing Ctrl T, you can see the transform control. Here you have extra info to scale, rotate, and change the center of rotation or transformation. You can edit this layer by changing these numbers. And if you press escape, you will return back to the status before editing the layer. You can also rotate this layer here. If you bring your mouse here, you can see that the mouse icon change. It shows that you can rotate your active layer. This icon cancel the transformation, or you can press escape, and this icon confirm the transformation. You can press enter to do the same thing. When the transform control is active, if you right click, a new menu pop up. You can see that there are different settings that you can use them to edit your layer. But what is very useful here is warp. If you click on it, you can edit the layer like it is on a liquid layer. You can edit your layer in a very powerful way. Perspective is also useful. It creates a fake perspective. Sometimes it's very useful. When you select a layer and you want to rotate it, by default, the center of rotation is at the center of this bounding box. If you want to edit this center of transformation, hold Alt and click on the transform control area. As you can see, now the center of transformation has changed. It's a temporary center, and if I exit from the transform control, the center position will return back to the default position, which is the center of the transform control. The next tool that I want to explain about it is rectangular marquee tool. The shortcut is M. You can click and drag a rectangular selection with this tool. If you want to draw a square selection, hold Shift, then drag. If you want to add to your selection, hold Shift and draw a new selection. And if you want to subtract from your selection, hold Alt and draw a new selection. Next tool is Lasso tools. You can see you have Lasso tool, polygonal lasso tool, and magnetic lasso tool. If you click and hold, or if you right click on any of the tool, you can see that new menu pop up. The lasso tool, the first one, gives you a free selection tool, so you can draw whatever you want. The polygonal lasso tool do the same, but by every click you control the selection. The corner of the selection is sharp. By adding more corner by clicking, you will have more smoother selection. During the course, we will be more familiar with lasso tools. If a tool has several subtools, you can hold Shift and combine it with the shortcut of that key. For example, the shortcut for lasso tool is L. If I hold Shift and press L, I can cycle through different lasso tools. Next tool that I want to talk about is Magic Wand tool. It is very useful when you want to select an area that has a low contrast in that area. It compares contrast of one pixel beside another pixel, and if the contrast between two pixels is less than the amount we define here, the tolerance, it will select the area. With more tolerance, it can accept more contrast. For example, I have a screenshot from Blender. This area is gray and the contrast between different pixels is not too much. If I click on it, based on the contrast and the setting that I specify here, the Magic Wand tool selects an area. So you can easily delete that area. The next tool that I want to talk about is Crop tool. The shortcut is C. If you select Crop tool, a white box around the canvas appears. You can edit the canvas and crop it by changing the position of these white handles. If you press escape, you can cancel the crop tool. If you want to extend the canvas, you can extend this area. So the new area will be added to your scene. When you want to crop an area, click and drag. You can click on this confirmation tick, or you can press enter. Or as I said, you can press escape to exit the crop tool. I want to explain this item. By default, delete crop pixels are activated. Imagine I have something other than this tree. If this item is activated and if I decide to crop this image, later if I change my mind, if I want to extend the area, as you can see, I no longer access to what was outside the crop box. But if I uncheck this option, when I cropped, and if for some reason I change my mind later, if I extend the crop, I still will have this area, what is outside the crop. Next tool is Eyedropper tool. It will help you to pick color from your scene. On the top half of the circle, I see the new color, and on the bottom, I see the old color. It is very useful, but if I want to switch again and again between brush tool and eyedropper tool, it's not an efficient way. There's a better way. A useful technique is that during the paint, when the active tool is brush tool, hold Alt and the brush tool will turn into eyedropper tool. Then select color from the area you want and then paint. This technique is very useful, so without switching between eyedropper tool and brush tool, which is very time consuming, you can easily paint and just select the color you want. The next tool is brush tool. During this course, I will explain a lot about the brush, about the setting here, about the setting in brush setting, about softness and hardness, because the focus of this course is on digital painting. So in later video, I will explain a lot about brush. So for now, just we skip it.